Both teams fired up, ready to go. Let's take a look at our Discover starting lineups. We'll start with the number 5 seed, the Wisconsin Badgers, going for their first outright Big Ten tournament title. They'll trot out that same lineup. The law firm intact: Barlow, Mueller, Segbers, and Catalano. 4 big-timers on the offensive attack for the Badgers. And the starting lineup for the Indiana Hoosiers, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. 9 goals for Mason Toy up front. Keep an eye on Reese Buckmaster on that right back. He also will run up and down the flank. The Indiana Hoosiers are out there in all red from head to toe. The Wisconsin Badgers in all white with a little shade of red. With Chris Doran, Dean Linke, Championship Sunday on the Big Ten Network, and we are underway.
Dean, like drizzle in Grand Park, and that means things are going to move quickly. You got to be sure of your touches. Don't take risks in the back. Neither of these teams really are prone to do that sort of thing. But you've got to be certain of those touches, and goalkeepers have got to be certain of skips and hops on shots coming at them.
All right, these two teams met back on October 21st in Bloomington, and a double overtime thriller for the Indiana Hoosiers as Indiana comes into this game an amazing 15-0-4, the only unbeaten team in NCAA Division I soccer. One of the big reasons in goal, the freshman phenom Trey Muse. And Chris Dorn, when I talked to Todd Yeagley yesterday, you think about a lot of great college football programs. Every once in a while they're down because they don't have a great quarterback. They've had good goalkeeping, but not great goalkeeping. They've got the ladder now in Indiana.
Not only does he make the saves that you're expecting him to make, he makes special saves too that keeps you in the match. And yes, he hasn't faced a lot in the way of tests because he's got such a great defensive line in front of him, but he has been tested and he has lived up to the billing as one of the best in the country.
Indiana, an 8-time national champion, also a 12-time Big Ten tournament champion, including a 95 win because of weather, ironically. These two teams shared a Big Ten title. That's Wisconsin's only one, so they're still searching for their sole outright title, and they could get it today.
That shared title coming back in 1995. They were in East Lansing for the final game. Too much snow on the field, so the teams packed up and shared the trophy.
Well, one trophy they didn't share that year was the only national championship that's in Madison for Wisconsin men's soccer. They went on to win it all that same year. Toy to the red-hot Thomas, scored the winner against Penn State in the quarters, scored the game winner, essentially the first goal in that 4-0 win over John Bloom's Buckeyes. Here's Catalano, who was so good defensively. As Segbers, Mueller, and Barlow scored. Take a look at the last tournament meeting. Wisconsin last year on this field advancing to the final on penalty kicks, and then this year Indiana winning that double overtime thriller. So expect a good one here today, I think.
Yeah, last 3 meetings going to overtime, and you wonder how much of the familiarity that John Trask has with the Indiana soccer way has made this series so close over the years. But both teams hungry and both teams going for it and wanting desperately to take home a trophy this afternoon.
Both teams, as we showed you the Discover starting lineups, trotting out the same exact lineup that was there on Friday. And in goal for Wisconsin, Philip Schilling, the redshirt senior from Germany. He's maybe 5'11" on a good day, although I can look him straight in the eye. Doesn't look like a goalkeeper, but man, he's outstanding. In fact, I asked him about what his plans are. He said, well, if you don't have a guy like John Trask who believes in you when you're only 5'10" as a goalkeeper, it's tough to go on as he gets his master's. He'd love to play more, but he's starting to think about his future. As this one sent in by Toy. Fantastic young man, though, Philip Schilling.
And I know we've talked about it a lot, but John Trask is the one who compares Schilling to a John Bush or a Nick Romano. Those guys not big in size, but tremendous in terms of their impact as next level players between the pipes.
Yeah, John Bush is 40 years young and still playing professional soccer.
Actually trains at this facility with Indy 11, the NASL team in Indianapolis.
Gutman will drop it back to Lillard. Those two, part of the Fire Academy, played high school together, both in the same positions, left center back, left back. In fact, Andrew Gutman saying there was one time where Lillard was banged up during academy play and he had to play center back and he couldn't wait for him to get back so he could run up and down that left side. Swartz over the top, there's Gutman. Try to run it down and just runs out of real estate. That young man never stops moving. It's been the same since arriving in Bloomington.
He picks and chooses his spots in that overlapping run. He even gets beyond Corey Thomas and into that gap where defenders have got to make decisions. Does the flank back go back with Gutman making the run? Does the center back get stretched out to the outside and therefore open up more space? But his effort at goal, not just from a crossing standpoint, but as we saw on Friday from a shooting standpoint, has paid off big time for Indiana.
Chris, you touched on it already. The umbrellas are out. Expecting heavier rain around 1 o'clock Eastern, but it's already drizzling in Westfield. Barlow around Lillard, back over Mueller, and there's Francesco Moore, Frankie Moore, first team all Big Ten.
Barlow comes in, he's big, he's strong, and he's going to work to get around Grant Lillard, who matches him size for size, but cannot clean that play up. Good work, Frankie Moore, goal side, ball side of Chris Mueller, as Mueller's making that sharp run to the near post.
So Mueller getting set, as he's got 9 goals and 15 assists on the season. What a year he's having. Over the top. Live sends it back in, and it's picked all the way up by Schilling, who's in the center circle. Long bomb for Wisconsin, played across. Lillard headed out for safety in the second corner kick. Early doors here for the Wisconsin Badgers.
Well, it's no surprise that Indiana's got 15 shutouts on the season, Dean, but you know, they're going to be tested today by a Wisconsin attacking third, or a Wisconsin attack that's going to require that Indiana's defense remain patient and have to weather a couple of different storms. In the final third, Wisconsin has to bring speed and pace, and they have got to surprise Indiana when they're unbalanced, tracking back to goal.
Those are our Bear keys to the game. We'll keep an eye on them the entire game. Another corner kick here. Head of Barlow, Mueller to Barlow.
Good service in. This ball's whipping in towards the near post. Barlow's got to come out for it a bit. Tries to get it behind him, maybe out a little too far. So perhaps a deeper service. Indiana opting for what looks like mostly zonal defending on those corner kicks. And in large part, that could be because of the size advantage that they feel they may have, or at least the athleticism that they have as an advantage over Wisconsin.
First ball won by Wisconsin, second and third also by the Badgers. Played into space. Mueller trying to find Barlow. That is a big matchup when you think about Lillard and Timmy Mell, who's second team all Big Ten. Part of the reason why Indiana's allowed only 4 goals all season. 42 for goals, 4 against. That's hard to beat that right there. That's part of the reason why they're undefeated. Buckmaster gets a piece of it. There's Timmy Mell. Over to Swartz. Buckmaster's played all over the field this year. Right back, left back, both center backs, attacking mid, holding mid. And with the injury to Jordan Klein, they put him back at right back again. And now he's, even with Jordan Klein getting better, he's the first choice. You see him right there, 19. He's the first choice right back right now, according to Coach Yeager.
Yeah, Jordan Klein not getting so healthy that he's got 40 minutes in him as John Trask looks on in his 8th season at Wisconsin. He's been terrific for the Badgers. I feel like in the last 2 or 3 years, he's really got this program exactly where he wants it. Great recruits coming in. A lot of students who understand how important it is to get a great education at Wisconsin, but then have the opportunity to play quality soccer too.
8th season at Wisconsin for John Trask, ironically replacing Todd Yeagley, who did the 1 year at Wisconsin before getting the call from his beloved Indiana Hoosiers to come home. Todd Yeagley telling me that that 1 year felt like 5 years, not in a bad way, but how advanced his learning process to be a head coach increased. The number one reason he said he felt that way is Bloomington has been home his entire life, right? Indiana, the Indiana way. He left all of that, rolled the dice, took a chance, crammed it in there, and then got the call back. Pretty exciting for a guy who's had great success at every level. Here's Gutman as it's cleared out of there.
Well, I don't think that it would be too far of a stretch to think that John Trask, who at the time was at the University of Illinois Chicago, may have had a little interest in what the opening presented down in Bloomington was, but found that as soon as Todd went south, he was able to go a few hours north from UIC and take that job in Madison.
Buckmaster sliding in over to Swartz. Swartz now switching it over to Gutman. Here's Frankie Moore, scores world-class goals in practice all the time and hit one in a game. First time he's ever scored a goal in the, quote, run of play. It was off a corner kick, and man, was it a beauty.
Wisconsin setting up knowing that they can't let Griffin Dorsey get around that corner, because when he does, Dorsey whips in a great ball for a finish in the goal mouth.
Timmy Mal will play it back to Trey Muse. Keep in mind, John Trask took UIC to 3 NCAAs. He took Wisconsin in 2013, the first time the Badgers had been back since '95 when they won the national championship. And he's going to take them again this year. In fact, if Wisconsin can somehow win this game, the word is that could change their seed. They may slip in to have that bye and get one of the top 16 seeds. Here's Toy, as that one will go out of bounds. And what a dramatic change that could be. Wondering if they're going to get into getting a top 16 seed. They'd be that close if they win. Todd Yeagley back home, 2012 national champion. Brian Mazonoff on his left, Kevin Robeson on his right. All three Hoosiers, all three gentlemen to the 100th degree.
Well, they're terrific for the game. They have established and continued this professional air about the Indiana soccer program, and they can also appreciate firsthand just how special it is, not just on the athletics landscape in Bloomington, but on the soccer landscape across the country.
So there is Todd Yeagley, the son of the bounds and corner kick, Indiana.
This is a tough sequence for Wisconsin. They got a little unorganized. Pancho does really well to test the back line, and in the end, Noah Leibold's got to come over and clean things up. Corner kick earned for Indiana.
Trevor Swartz with his left foot, driven near post, back out of bounds again, and just like that, Indiana equals Wisconsin with 2 corners so far. Swartz again, left foot, sent back to him, stays in bounds this time, so Swartz will have a third opportunity. Great ball to Pancho. Pancho back across. Near post was Thomas, looking to make it 1-0 for the third straight game, but couldn't get his head to it.
And Dean, with the rain that we're experiencing in Grand Park, that kind of a ball, when it drops and skips inside the 6, can create lots of problems for the defending team.
Thomas showing. Here's Toy, who's drifted over to the left side. Has Pancho behind him. Lillard stays up because of that corner kick. Lillard's still there. He'll try to get out of the way. Lillard with a little poke. Back across. Dorsey. And finally, Wisconsin able to perhaps get out of trouble. There's the clearance.
Well, Well, we mentioned how both of these teams, Dean, are going to have to weather certain storms within the match, and Wisconsin right now is hoping this one passes quickly.
Catalano. That was Mueller, but not quite ready for it was Guitar, who I thought had a great game on Friday in that 4-0 win over Michigan, which, by the way, wasn't a 4-0 game in the sense of it wasn't like Michigan played poorly. They were a bit unlucky, couldn't get their footing, and Wisconsin pounced every opportunity. Michigan, the regular season champs, with Shaka Daly well. Maryland Terrapins, Sasha Soroski, you know they're going to be in. Damon Rensing. And the Michigan State Spartans should also get one of those top 16 seeds. Even Maryland losing those last 5 games, all 5 losses against top 20 RPI teams. So they come in with an impressive resume. As the Big Ten will most definitely send 5 teams into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any doubt about that. Right now, Indiana moving their line of contention up just a bit. They want to force Wisconsin with that possession in the back into a little bit of discomfort with the hopes that maybe they can turn the ball over quickly.
Mueller. Able to do it all this year, climbing the ladder. And as you take a look at the RPI, those are the 5 teams. How about Wisconsin shooting up there, putting them in no doubt range? Indiana, the word is if Indiana wins, they will get a top 4 seed. And you know how important that is, as they're talking about Wake Forest, North Carolina, even Duke, 3 ACC schools. Indiana would love to get one of those top 4 seeds.
One of the beauties of Wisconsin coming out with a resounding victory on Friday is the fact that now John Trask and the Badgers can come out in this game and they can actually play. They don't have to worry about a must-win situation. Both teams looking for a trophy, don't want to disrespect that, but they can just play because they know there's no question about what happens this week.
Gutman. Toy with Alex Masbrook all over him. Masbrook featured prominently in that 4-0 win. After a great save from Schilling, he booted it long, and then Mueller did the rest on the opposite end of the field. You think about it, it was so close to being 1-1, then it's 2-0 and changed the game. Catalano, good ball to Barlow. Barlow to Segbers. Segbers telling me yesterday that Tommy Barlow will be his best man in his wedding whenever that day comes. That's how close those two are. Roommates since arriving in Madison, St. Louis mates. Schlenker.
And John Trask telling us that he's hoping that those 2 guys have a chance to room at the Combine for Major League Soccer, because he really feels like he's got 4 players on this team, maybe 5, who should be invited to the Combine. We talked about this Friday. They're not attached to a club team, so they don't have to be exposed to the possibility of a homegrown contract with an MLS club. As a result, the way they get picked up is making themselves available in the MLS draft.
Frankie Moore. He's feeling it. Toy kept low, deflected, and the third corner here for the Indiana Hoosiers. No score. Championship Sunday on the Big Ten Network. Indiana and Wisconsin.
By number 8.
Now, when Mason Toy in that sequence pulls himself out of the middle in order to be a target for an outlet pass, he's actually creating space for Austin Poncho and Corey Thomas to advance into the final third. Mason Toy on a corner kick is going to whip this ball in towards the near post, and Grant Lillard is going to try to get ahead on it.
Here it comes, Toy, right to near post, but inside. Second weekend in a row, Grand Park was the host to the Big Ten Women's Soccer Tournament last weekend, and weather played a major factor. In fact, after a long delay, they got 37 minutes in and had to move it indoors here. Segbers When I say indoors, we're talking 3 full-side fields here, what I call the 8th wonder of the world, Grand Park. 10 total turf fields, 30-plus soccer fields, and almost 30 softball and baseball fields. Toy over to Schilling. That said, it is just ridiculous how amazing this facility is.
Yeah, it's terrific as we watch Mason Toy opening things up on the far side and able to get a dangerous cross in. Perhaps wants to pull that out just a little bit so that Mr. Schilling doesn't feel quite as comfortable pulling it down out of the air. That's a wonderful facility, and the great thing is they finished the facility first with the plan for retail infrastructure on the outside of it, and now we're starting to see the development of hotels, restaurants, and whatnot to support the visitors that come here to Grand Park each and every week, whether it's weekday training for local soccer clubs, baseball teams, football teams, or it's weekend tournaments. And they have been awarded the contract to be the host for the Indianapolis Colts spring training.
Not surprised.
Summer camp, I should say, the Colts camp.
Strong Hoosier connection around the facility as well. Don Rawson, the president of the Indiana Sports Properties. George Perry, both of them former Indiana assistant coaches. Catalano. Qatar will come back. Olafson over to Masbrook.
Dean, I don't think either one of these teams is expecting a repeat of Friday's 4-0 victory, but certainly they do expect to score. That's what they do. They're set up for it. The difference today is they're up against some defensive players who are going to be up to the task of snuffing out those chances.
Combined on the season, these two teams have put 80 goals in the back of the net, 42 for Indiana, 38 for Wisconsin. However, it is worth pointing out Wisconsin has not had a shot in 15-plus minutes.
Well, Indiana is very pleased and patient to watch Wisconsin push the ball around in possession here. They're not going to come out and engage them, because Wisconsin's not doing any damage out there. Todd Yeagley telling me earlier in the season that that's one of the lessons that they've had to instill into this group. We're not going to have 80-90% possession every game. We've got to be patient, just allowing this to, unfold and not be dangerous.
Masbrook bombs it long, and he finds Mueller. Masbrook can serve a great long ball, and it's definitely part of the game plan for Wisconsin all season long. Looping ball, no problem for Muse. He'll drop it to Gutman. Gutman's got Thomas in front of him. Gutman with the ball, almost outpacing Thomas. Frankie Moore, knowing when Gutman goes forward, he's got to drop back and lean a little bit more on the left side, and that's where he was. Dorsey to Swartz. Swartz will pop it high in the air, trying to find Buckmaster. There's Schlenker. Buckmaster with the shield, trying to earn a corner kick off of Buckmaster, throw in Wisconsin.
You see Buckmaster transitioning into the attack just a moment ago. He's concerned about defense and does a really nice job against Mueller. Does a great job of pressuring Schlenker as Schlenker wants to pull that ball down and turn and clear it out.
Yeah, both number 19s probably don't get a ton of recognition. It's hard when you think about the star-studded lineups for both teams, right? Players that are scoring goals and putting up big-time numbers. But Buckmaster's been anywhere Todd Yeagley's wanted him to go, and number 19 for Wisconsin, Schlenker, has done the same, as a lot of the eyes are on that man, though, number 10, Christopher Mueller. Popped in the air, Toy. Cleared out of there and out of bounds. Take a look at our State Farm State of Success as Buckmaster getting ready to throw it in. All you got to do is put the camera on Christopher Mueller and then start looking at his numbers. 6 points in 3 games here at Grand Park. But how about his season numbers as well? 9 goals and 15 assists. A no-doubter for Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year.
He's just so dynamic, Dean, and he does a wonderful job appreciating and embracing what he has in the way of gifts offensively and creating chances for his teammates as well.
Thomas out wide to Gutman. Frankie Moore. Back in, loose! And knocked away just in the nick of time. Philip Schilling did not come out. He had Pancho in front and number 15 as it comes over to Swartz, dropping in a great ball.
And Mitch Guitar gets a foot on it, knocks it out. One of the best 11 nationally as a defender. Mitch Guitar stepping in and poking that ball out of danger. You're right, Schilling wanted no part of that ball.
Fourth corner now for Indiana. First two corners of the day were the Badgers, but 4 in a row now for the Indiana Hoosiers. It's Toy, freshman of the year and first team all Big Ten. That is difficult to pull off as a freshman, and Schilling with the collision will get the whistle.
Gutman apologized, well, maybe not apologizing to Schilling, but he comes in, goes up, and undercut by Schilling. Maybe he was asking for an apology.
Philip Schilling didn't train yesterday, was out there just in a everyday jacket, had his glasses on. He's got a little bit of a Clark Kent appeal to him, right? He's so unassuming out there with his glasses and takes it off and is as acrobatic as you can find in goal. John Trask absolutely adores this young man, and he told me he may try it again, go over to Germany and try to find another Philip Schilling type goalkeeper. Of course, with the weather out there, we do apologize for some of the technical difficulties here on the Big Ten Network. So glad you're with us here for Championship Sunday. Neutral site, keep in mind. Just outside of Indianapolis. Guitar. Leg is up on Barlow. Left just a little too early as Lillard let him go. Lillard and Mel, that combo back there will have their hands full with number 11 and number 10.
Yeah, but that's actually Lillard and Gutman who are both monitoring. Gutman's behind Lillard and monitoring where Barlow is going and where Lillard is stopping in his step and stepping forward. You mentioned the understanding that Gutman and Lillard have with one another. That's an off-the-ball situation where the understanding is priceless.
Dorsey, part of that all-freshman team and second team all-Big Ten. Moore, first team all-Big Ten. You think about Kenny Krolicki as well from Michigan State. Didn't have big numbers. Moore didn't have big numbers. Neither did Dorsey, but all of the coaches collectively, all 9 of them recognizing the value they bring as Pancho's knocked to the ground. I like seeing that, right? Because normally it's like, oh wait, how many goals, how many assists you got, right? Not this year.
Great run by Pancho, looking to get in on this ball, collect it, and maybe have a one-time crack at goal. No foul called, and an opportunity for Wisconsin to go the other way. I agree with the Frankie Moore assessment. And we just watched as he battled for possession, knowing that he had to play this ball backwards, had support from his teammates who were reading the situation he was in. And Indiana kept that ball. That's what led to the service to Pancho. You think about playing in that spot where Frankie is right now with the ball and how play can go in any direction, and you have to be ready to adjust immediately. And he does that for Indiana.
Throw in for Schlenker and Wisconsin. Wisconsin still without a shot in 20-plus minutes. You talked about Wisconsin being able to relax just a little bit, knowing that they're in the NCAA tournament for only the second time since 1995. It's kind of funny. Out of practice, John Trask, Chris Doran, telling us that he's going to call Todd Yeagley and say, Todd, hey, do you want us to play? And they both had a laugh about it. He did call him after practice, and Todd's like, well, we're not going to change what we're doing, nor are we going to tell you what we're doing, and I expect the same of you.
Well, that's really interesting, and it speaks to the relationship that JT has with Todd and vice versa. These teams want a trophy in the case. You've got to be playing for that. It's not enough that the promise of next week is intact. This is Mueller just going anywhere, and Frankie Moore wants to keep him slowed down. He gets this ball back, and Moore comes right back at him. Just so calm. He knows he's going to be a target, doesn't he? That's the mental toughness, that's the mental switch where you can forget about that sequence and now move on to the next.
Yes, you're indeed right, Chris. Mueller knows that the target gets bigger by the game as well. John Trask bringing the team together before practice and saying, we've got a big game tomorrow, and then guess what, boys, we're going to play a lot more games. We've got a team that is not just happy getting the NCAA tournament. We're going to play a lot of games. We're going to make some noise, Badger style. I like that message because it also says kind of what you said, Chris Dorn. You can go ahead and relax, have some fun. You've earned it. You're back. And these seniors, I think, are going to soak it in.
Going into a big game like this, that's the best piece of, the best kind of mentality to have, knowing that you can just be free and play the game the way you've been playing.
Schlenker with the throw-in. Catalano. Over to Mueller. Mueller kept in bounds. Pushed off the ball by Frankie Moore and out of bounds. Moore versus Mueller. Mueller thought he was going to earn the foul.
Well, as much as attacking players like to take the team and put them on their shoulders, so too do defenders. They take it personally, and Frankie Moore steps in, separates the ball from Mueller. Mueller goes down softly, a restart for Indiana.
Both these teams, to a man, talking about the mutual respect for each other. Not a lot of trash talking going on between these two teams. And you think about the coaches as well. Not too surprised that that's the case.
Oh, man, you hear about that in some other sports, and fans will say what they want to say. But when you talk about athletes doing that, I think it takes you away from your game. And I think from both coaching staffs, what we know and understand is that they want their players focused on the game that they're about to play, not the game that their opponents are about to play, in the sense that they focus on what they can do to influence this game in a positive fashion.
Olafson. And here's Mueller. Mueller able to run downhill. Timmy Mell comes back, and then Swartz is there. Great effort from the speedy Dorsey, but it falls back again to Mueller. Mueller just outside the 18. Now Schlenker. Schlenker with that right foot. Didn't hit it well, but neither did Mel on the clearance. Barlow kind of dancing with it. And after all of that mess, it's a corner kick, Wisconsin.
Great service, and Mueller's going to get to it on the one touch from Mel. And as he goes to goal, Mel does well to tie him up. The cleared ball from Trevor Swartz. Mueller thinking about popping that ball up over his defenders, instead playing it back, and a chance for Wisconsin. Uncharacteristic errors in the back. The good news is Mueller's got to walk from the other side of the field to take this corner kick. Everyone's got time to kind of lasso their emotions and get reorganized for the restart.
You see the Indiana subs hanging over there by the corner. Both these teams able to play a lot of players on Friday. Trying to find Catalano. Masbrook hit this one pretty deep. It'll stay in bounds. And it'll be a throw in Wisconsin.
Griffin Dorsey showing his athleticism there, backtracking and then winning that ball out of the air.
Guitar. Guitar bumped off the ball. Catalano can turn. Hughes was shielded, but he'll collect it.
Good help back defensively with Mason Toy stepping in on Guitar, but it looked like both Indiana defenders got tied up on the ball at once and offered an unlucky deflection if you're a Hoosier fan, and an opportunity at goal for Wisconsin.
Pancho. Swartz. Moore and Gutman. Thomas. Thomas, one of the more skillful players with the ball, can slice and dice. They'll lose it there, though, trying to go through 3 Wisconsin Badgers. Moore and Mueller getting to know each other pretty well today.
I think, again, Moore is taking this personally as Corey Thomas receives this ball. And this is reminiscent of what we saw Friday with Wisconsin in their very disciplined 2 lines of defense that start to kind of bend just a bit, but they don't bend so much that they break. It really denied Michigan a lot of quality looks at goal on Friday. And it's working for them this afternoon, too, against Indiana.
Get up!
10 minutes remaining, still no score. Fall to Buckmaster. That pass was behind Catalano. Buckmaster, Toy, good touch. Toy, nice back heel. Dorsey's there. Toy and Dorsey, part of the U.S. Youth National Team system, as is Trey Muse, Renix. And Bloomington, Buckmaster, and a save by Schilling. Closing down the space, number 30.
Dean, this is the advantage of having Reese Buckmaster, an overlapping back who's got midfield sensibilities. He looks for the gap and gets a great ball from Frankie Moore. Schilling has to come up off his line, makes himself big, and denies the chance at goal.
Reese Buckmaster. Reese Buckmaster, along with Corey Thomas, 2 of the players that Todd Yeagley said could get MVP consideration for their value.
Amazing, because Buckmaster is a walk-on.
Help him out there.
And as a redshirt junior, certainly has made his mark.
Gutman, Andrew Gutman, down on the ground but out of bounds.
So your 2 outside backs are highlighting themselves here as Buckmaster on the first round of pass and shot toward goal. Gutman on the other side, cutting a defender and taking another crack from the other side.
Indiana leading 7-2 in shots, but shots on goal just 1 apiece. Toy will lose it. There's Segbers. Segbers scored the first goal against Michigan after you saw Tommy Barlow do a bit of a pancake on Henry Mashburn, the goalkeeper for Michigan. Shaka Daly didn't exactly love that call, as felt like it was too much contact against Mashburn, but referee let it play on him, and Segbers, with no goalkeeper there, was able to slide it home. And that'll fall to Schilling.
So Mason Toy has got a strike partner in Thomas War now as Austin Pancho drops back to the right midfielder role. Reese Buckmaster still overlapping into the midfield too. Couldn't find War on that through ball.
Schilling. There's Mueller. Christopher Mueller, 22 goals, 30 assists, 74 points, 6-game winners in his career. His 15 assists moved him to second on the single-season assist list, moving past Indiana's Todd Yeagley and former Northwestern great Dave Roth. When you think about that run that Northwestern was making in 2008 to 2011. And the Big Cat Misha Rosenthal, they had some great players. Dave Roth with that white hair was pretty big time as well.
It was big time for the Wildcats, and that's a substantial bit of company that Chris Mueller finds himself in, isn't it?
Including Todd Yeagley, who appreciates a great pass. The head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers. Trying to find Segbers. Moore. It'll fall to Schlenker, deflected, but Muse is there.
This is really a bit odd, the way Indiana is finding themselves in a couple of situations in the back, inside 12 yards of the goal mouth. As they go the other way now, and Toy's got some help on the outside, and it's foul. Watch what happened here just a moment ago at the defensive half of the field for Indiana. Trey Muse on the ball out. This is all in possession, and Frankie Moore so relaxed with two front runners, Catalano and Mueller, ready to pounce. I mean, I give them credit, but when things break down, this is what comes from it. I give them credit for being calm, but geez, Dean, it's a championship game.
I know, that was like breakfast soccer on a Sunday, right? Just at the local park there, playing it out of the back, and Wisconsin was ready to pounce. Toy. Looked like it was a shot from Toy.
Yeah, well, he scored a game winner from about that spot against Wisconsin in overtime back on October 21st, I think it was. And what's interesting about that is we talked to Todd Yeagley, as Todd said, yeah, he wasn't supposed to take that as a shot. It was actually supposed to be a service to the far post, but Toy felt comfortable. It was overtime, and he was ready to go ahead and just finish the play up on that date. This was extraordinary. Watch him from over his left shoulder. He whips that ball in, and he beats Schlenker to get the game winner. So terrific stuff. Schilling, I'm sorry, he beat Schilling for the win in Bloomington.
Toy, one of 9 goals on the season, including that one to get by Wisconsin. Here's Thomas. As both teams now starting to go to their bench. Indiana now bringing on Thomas War, wearing number 18. Corey Thomas and Thomas War. Corey Thomas earning the foul. And what a story Corey Thomas has been. You see him in his number 11, 6 goals with redshirt junior as he tries to beat Leibold. He gets taken down. I mean, here's a guy that Todd Yeagley said we both had to be patient. He needed to be patient as a player, and our coaching staff needed to be patient with him. Collectively, they did it. They knew he had the talent. It was about getting the confidence up. Now he can't take this young man off the field because he does the work on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, he earned the opportunity too. And you know, you hear coaches say next man up. When there's an opportunity, you have to seize it. And he did with the injury to Jordan Klein, the movement of Reese Buckmaster out of the midfield. And now the chance for Thomas to earn a regular starting role.
Toy. As Thomas earns the free kick. Thomas in front of Schilling. Lillard is up there. Timmy Mell, Frankie Moore. Gutman's on the far post. War is there. Swartz also there. Schilling will parry it away. It'll be a corner kick, Indiana.
It's a dangerous ball, and it's coming in at a heavy bit of speed. Not sure if that's crossbar or not. If Schilling doesn't get a fist on it.
So corner kick Hoosiers, just over 2 minutes remaining. Out of bounds off of Gutman. It'll be a goal kick back to Philip Schilling. Schilling doing what he does. He's already had a big save, stopping Reese Buckmaster in what was probably the best opportunity, at least on the breakaway. Keep in mind Schilling. We mentioned those big four, Segbers, Barlow, Mueller, Catalano, with all their goals and assists. Schilling's got a goal this year as well, scoring against the Michigan Wolverines in the regular season. Catalano, forward. Can't win it back. It'll be a throw in back for Indiana.
Mentioned how these are two high-octane offensive powerhouses this year, and the narrow margin of victory between the two teams with the last 3 games going into overtime. There hasn't been a multi-goal margin of victory between these two teams since 2012.
Mueller the one way. He looked like he had earned the fouls. He danced through 3 different players.
This is good stuff. Ball up top. Mueller back to the defender with the touch line to deal with and the quick cut inside. We've seen that a lot. And no foul, no whistle on that.
I think he may have been hit just a little bit. Referee, though, probably had a better angle than we did. And a whistle now. It'll go to Wisconsin. Referee's going to stop the clock as well as Indiana knocks it out of bounds. So that'll help the Badgers.
Soren Stoika telling Tim Mel no more. So the verbal talking to is now noted. Mel kicked the ball away, and the luxury of college soccer is that the clock can be stopped and play can be reset.
Wisconsin will take it because Mueller's over the ball. So he can try to find Barlow. Olafson also will come forward. Mueller just driven in there, loose. Barlow, it fell to him. He had a shot at it, but it hit the backside of an Indiana defender.
What a ball in, just hoping for it to take a skip and a hop. Barlow with the opportunity, and Wisconsin and Indiana wrapping up with zeros.
You mentioned the tight games the last few times these two teams have played, and right on cue, perhaps some heavy legs as well from Friday's semifinal matchups. 4-0 wins for both teams.
Well, it was really terrific here in the first half. We've seen great build-up from both teams. We've seen some creative and at times risky situations in the attacking thirds at both ends of the field, as a matter of fact. I think the clubs have to be happy here at the break to be scoreless and be in a situation where they've got a game that they can still put a mark on.
Weather an issue again here in Westfield, Indiana, perhaps affecting the offense as both teams trying to chase down that trophy.
It's tough when you've got a new name in Bloomington and you're a part of the Indiana soccer program, because on the one hand you want to prove yourself, on the other hand you've got a lot of loyal fans in Bloomington who are scratching their heads saying, hey, who's this kid, who's that kid? Well, Trey Muse and to be honest, most of the freshman class have all introduced themselves with firm handshakes to the Indiana soccer community and have done quite well this year.
So here we go, the second half of the 2017 Big Ten Men's Soccer Tournament Championship game on the Big Ten Network is underway. Alongside Chris Doran, Dean Linke, delighted to be with you for another Championship Sunday on BTN. Timmy Mel to Buckmaster. Indiana in red from head to toe, Wisconsin in all white. Griffin Dorsey sent into the 18, but right back out of there. Schwartz. Right side. Dorsey again. Schlenker gets his foot up. Olafson. First time, and then Catalano. Catalano's defense against Michigan.
Look how far Gutman is. Gutman right up at the top of the 18 in the middle of the field, Dean. We've seen overlaps on the left flank and the right flank. Great stuff from Reese Buckmaster. Finding open space and a little bit of time, too, to get that ball served in. Shut down quickly, corner kick.
Sixth corner of the game for Indiana. Rain still coming down. High lofted ball. Schlenker saw it spinning out, lets it go out of bounds before Gutman can get to it.
Dean, you mentioned something during the break that we do forget on Championship Sunday, and that is how much work went into the Friday matchups with less than 48 hours of rest for these teams coming into the championship game. And now playing under conditions less than ideal with the rain and a heavy field. It's as time wears on, this game starts to look like it may be decided more so by an error and the capitalization on said error rather than from something that could be as magical as some of the 8 goals that we saw on Friday.
The wisdom of Chris Doran. Great to be with you all season long, my man. Another Championship Sunday.
Been a great season. So proud of the conference and the way the programs have captured national attention.
And all of that drama on the final day of the regular season with 4 teams having a shot at the Big Ten regular season title. Michigan State and Indiana playing. They go to a tie. And then Michigan playing Maryland, knowing that if Maryland wins, they're your Big Ten regular season champs. If Michigan wins, they get the Big Ten regular season title for the first time ever. And Shaka Daly's Wolverines get it done on BTN.
I know that you had a visit with Chad Hawley with the Big Ten Conference. Did he take any credit for that scheduling magic that happened on the last day?
His sentiments were exactly like yours, though, how inspired he was by the level of competition with those top 5 teams. Of course, Ohio State got off to a great start in the non-conference play as well. And by the end of the season, you saw Tim Lanahan's team coming on. Penn State had a couple tough years for Danny Donegan and Rutgers, but man, he stuck with those freshmen, so I think there's going to be brighter lights on Rutgers down the road as well.
And Bob Warming's Penn State Nittany Lions did a really nice job late in the season. They were finally able to sort some things out. Very proud of his group, the way they stuck through it, game in and game out. Had a 3-game win streak headed into that game in Bloomington on Monday because of the weather.
They gave Indiana all they could handle too, right?
Sure
Taking
did.
that one into overtime. Catalano. Dorsey pushed off the ball. They'll play it. Nope, they'll bring it back as Gutman may have lost it. So Dorsey earning the foul. Rain's still coming down here, Chris.
Yeah, and Dorsey is making that run across the field looking for distribution. Mitch Guitar ties him up. Elon Koenig is a new face in that right back spot coming out of the locker room for John Trask and the Wisconsin Badgers.
Mueller had it for a moment. Thomas bumped off the ball there by Koenig. Mason Toy scored that unbelievable free kick that we showed you in that overtime thriller against the Wisconsin Badgers during the regular season. Got 6 shots trying to make a difference, just can't quite get it on frame.
Had 9 against Penn State last week, couldn't find it. Gatorade Player of the Year last year in New Jersey.
Schilling. Olafson will clear it out. Throw in.
Good work from Tim Mell. This ball laid off by Mueller. The one touch by Mell, he's got to dive in on this. But Lillard's there to clean things up.
Lillard, the Big Ten Defender of the Year, doing the defensive work. Throw in. Mueller with Mel. Segbers. Shot from distance off of Mel, and it'll be a corner kick, Wisconsin.
Segbers locks and loads, and he wants to crack at goal, but Indiana, I'm sorry. That shot inside for Wisconsin.
Leibold. Corner kick. Dorsey on the clearance will knock it out of bounds. I mentioned Indiana basketball getting going, and then with Koenig with the throw-in for Wisconsin, he's a relative of Seth Davis, longtime basketball analyst. And he always slips in a little Wisconsin soccer, even during busy basketball times, to watch number 2.
Well, this game has, I think in large part because of the weather, this game has come down a notch in the way of clean presentation.
So Mason Toy, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, made first team All Big Ten as well. And when I talked to him yesterday, Chris, he said that he came to Indiana to get that 9th star. And I said, what made you decide to go to Indiana? He said, well, ironically, you're always talking about the Godfather. During the recruiting process, he came up to me to give me a fist bump. And this isn't normally Godfather style, but on the fist of the Godfather, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 rings for the fist bump. You don't think that made a difference for Mason Toy? What a story that is.
That is outstanding.
As the Godfather winning 6 rings on his own. His son getting 1. Coach Freitag also with 1. And how about, he said, yeah, he came up to me, he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rings on the fist bump and then walked away. Solid. Throw in for the Badgers.
Hey, how far is he moving up?
Pinging around. Tar will try to switch it as Chris Doran told you with the rain and heavy field, kind of muddy. This game a little bit stuck in the mud right now. Let's see if one of the teams can open it up here a little bit. Picked off there by Leibold. Segbers picked off by Frankie Moore, who again filling that space when Gutman pushes forward. Dorsey will go down.
Dorsey's not finding any space when he cuts inside right now, and this is causing problems. Gutman has been forced into, or I'm sorry, Reese Buckmaster's been forced into some defending here in the last 10 minutes or so that has not allowed for an outlet pass in transition for Dorsey. So Dorsey's been turning inside, hoping to look across field for an option for distribution. And it's getting clogged up from Wisconsin.
Lillard. Nine shots for Indiana, 4 for Wisconsin. Out of bounds. over in front of the Indiana bench. Todd Yeagley sitting over there with Brian Mazanoff. Kevin Robeson is standing up in front of the subs, far side of the bench. There, Todd Yeagley will get up off the bench. Didn't like that call.
Not sure if the referee overruled the assistant referee, but here's the call that everyone was concerned about. Mason Toy off of 1 foot and off Toy's shin. Wisconsin not able to do anything with it, so Buckmaster will put it back into play.
Olofsson will boot it long. Mueller, battle with Lillard. Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year against the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year.
And it's just sloppy at this point, Dean.
John Trask and Keith Tiemeyer. Chris, one of the things that you said earlier when you think about the law firm in Catalano, Segbers, Barlow, and Mueller is none of them tied to homegrown. All of them could be available for the draft. Well, Keith Tiemeyer and John Trask wanted them prepared for the draft process. So they brought in Jim Froslid, one of the all-time leading goal scorers for a Wisconsin big-time executive, formerly with U.S. Soccer. They brought in Chris White, executive director for the Colorado Housing and Finance Authority. Pat Goss, executive director for the Wisconsin Transportation Builders Association. As that one will roll out of bounds, Ben Dickey, Madison Investment Advisors, and Justin Doherty, senior associate athletic director for external relations at the University of Wisconsin, to go through the interview process of how you talk to a general manager or a president, all in lieu of getting them to the next level.
Those are graduate level courses, those discussions, aren't they? They're graduate level courses that John Trask and the coaching staff are offering their student athletes in preparation for the next step.
Big time executives, and from what I understand, according to Keith Tiemeyer, they all did a great job in the process. Bumped off the ball there by Mueller. Mueller down near the end line. Mueller does not like the call.
Warren Stoica is going to give Mueller a chance to gather his composure. It's just great refereeing. As Mueller's frustrated by this situation, Buckmaster trying to launch the counterattack, and he mows him down. The argument being that Buckmaster had stepped away from the ball.
Gutman, Schilling, top of the 18 and out. Gets there before Gutman. Finally, the game's starting to open up just a little bit.
Yeah, 15 minutes of the second half, and we've not seen this, but Trevor Swartz does well to find Gutman, who's going to get past Segbers, but it's really great stuff from Schilling.
Pancho and Schilling with the save. Just in the nick of time as Pancho so close, and Indiana starting to knock on the door.
Phil Schilling's been standing in the rain for 15 minutes with not much to do, and in this sequence, he's got yet another batch of Hoosiers coming after him. Does a great job to get down low and keep that ball wide.
Again!
So 3 saves for Philip Schilling, perhaps none bigger than that last one. Getting low to knock it away.
Look how close Pancho is able to get. 12 yards out, and Schilling keeps it clear.
high pressure here from Indiana on that back line. Stays in bounds, Frankie Moore. He knew that Dorsey was going to be there, but it's Qatar and a hard tackle. Other way again, Indiana starting to run downhill. Toy into the 18, bouncing off players. Knocked out of bounds, corner kick, Hoosiers.
Wow. Well, here's Dorsey on the slide tackle, and then off to the races, Mason Toy, who got a little bit of extra attention once he found the space. Schlenker runs him down, ball out of bounds, and then coming back into the group. Schilling not making it easy for him to find his spot on this restart.
That was a clean tackle by Dorsey, though. Good job by our Big Ten Network crew to catch it. Got the ball. Good non-whistles. Indiana. A little heat here on the Badgers. Toy. Lofted ball. Mueller.
Tremendous technical ability. Forearm on the back of the defender. Creates a little bit of space, settles it, plays it to a teammate.
The Journey brings you a brand new episode Tuesday at 9 Eastern. Only The Journey takes you behind the scenes for an all-access look at the Big Ten football season Tuesday at 9. Qatar to Schlenker. Schlenker's going to go back to Schilling. Schilling doesn't mind kicking it about. He'll come out, little sweeper keeper action. Chris, you've been around the Indiana program long enough that based on the flow of the last 5 minutes, you can just sense Todd Yeagley on the bench saying there's one coming, there's one coming, there's one coming, as they're starting to knock on the door. Sent in, headed out of there.
I think they've actually been insulted, and Indiana is coming right at Wisconsin. It's as if they've had enough of Wisconsin's possession and enough of Wisconsin gaining confidence in their possession in the first 10 minutes of this half.
Todd Yeagley. So much encouragement coming from the bench. 7-0-1 all-time versus Wisconsin in the Big Ten tournament.
What comes from that chip on the shoulder attitude is better possession and more explosiveness getting forward.
Gutman will run it down. Gutman over to Schilling. With the weather and more, perhaps importantly, with the fact that they just played less than 40 hours ago, it's a little bit sloppy out there, and Chris, not representative of the true quality of players, teams, and conference quality as you see right here, which kind of goes back to the notion of the effort pushed by Maryland coach Sasho Soroski to stretch out the season, the full academic year.
We've met a lot of the men's coaches, both we've known of the Big Ten conference coaches who are in favor of stretching the year out, but even some of the non-conference coaches with whom we've spoken are certainly willing to explore what that looks like if the men's soccer season is stretched out over 10 months and a championship game is played in warmer weather than what is traditionally a mid-December date in a moderate temperature.
Yeah, and you have that same pressure in the College Cup, right? Because you play the semifinals on Friday. This will be in Philadelphia, where it could be really cold, and then turn around and play the championship game on Sunday.
Yeah, and I get the idea that cities want to profile their soccer-specific stadiums and whatnot, but man, you're really putting a lot of pressure on student athletes to perform. And I've always said that in the NCAA tournament, the semifinal Friday is the best round of games because that Sunday game oftentimes does not profile the quality of play that the programs bring just because of the fatigue factor.
Thomas gets to it first. Thomas quickly played to Pancho. Now Toy, and Toy will earn another corner kick. Corner kick, Indiana.
Pancho does a nice job of leaving this ball for Thomas. Thomas on the run, working in combination. And Toy on the run as well. They're putting the defenders for Wisconsin under a lot of pressure here last 5 to 10 minutes.
Corner kick for the Hoosiers.
Let's go.
Toy. Kept in bounds by Gutman. Now Trevor Swartz. Swartz. Pretty good ball, and Frankie Moore got one. That was Timmy Mell rather trying to snap one in.
Unlike before, Toy going far post with that whipped-in ball collected by Gutman on the far side. And with that second ball in, Tim Mell does really well to snap that ball down.
Buckmaster will knock it out of bounds. Throw in for Wisconsin. 22 minutes remaining in regulation. These two teams met last year in the semifinals. Tied at 1. It took penalty kicks before number 10, Christopher Mueller, with the winner to advance. Championship game against Maryland.
Number 9, Alex Alfaro. Reinforcing number 7, Martin Sedberg.
Mueller. Koenig. Kept alive. Wisconsin, Alex Alfaro, who scored with 1 second remaining to go in that Michigan game, has come on wearing that number 9 jersey. He's the future of the Badger program, a team that will lose a ton of players this year. John Trask loving the freshmen that have been in practice every day, hanging a red shirt on a lot of those players, and then a big-time recruiting class coming in, according to Coach Trask.
Dean, Wisconsin wrestling a bit of this game back. Alfaro, a little different player than Segbers, but this gives Segbers the spell, the relief on the bench that he maybe needs to finish this match strong. Good stuff from Mason Toy, switching to point of attack. Here comes Gutman. He'll take a lot of space on the dribble.
Swartz. Moore back to Swartz. Indiana, last 15 minutes, dissecting, probing, looking for that first goal. Here's Pancho. Pancho down near the end line. Good angled ball back. Toy turning. Can't get his body around. That far post was available and open for business, but he missed it.
Good build up, Pancho to the goal line. He's got to cut it back towards the 6, and that's exactly where Toy is. On the turn, that ball's bouncing. He knows he's got no time. We've seen Mason Toy going on the run at goal. He's got to be polished in situations like that. I think handles the situation well for what it was. Thought
the ball from Pancho, another one of those St. Louis stars. Both teams with a pipeline to St. Louis. Here's Mason Toy. Toy with Masbrook on him. Kept alive, drop back. Trying to return the favor to Pancho, who goes down, throw in Indiana. Gutman comes forward. Gutman is always there. Pancho, side of his foot, Buckmaster across, but Schilling ready for it.
Saw Mason Toy with a sitter from the 6, but then on the run in the open field does really well to pull Alex Masbrook to the goal line, then gets around Masbrook and lays this ball, lovely ball right to Mr. Pancho, who's tied up in traffic, not able to finish.
Wisconsin without a shot in the last 20 minutes as Indiana starting to get a hold of this game. But all it takes is that one opportunity. Dorsey goes in hard, but just like earlier, gets to the ball first.
Dean, in the last 2 months, Indiana's only allowed 3 goals. That's 14 games. And one of those 3 goals was scored by Wisconsin on October 21st.
Defensively amazing as you think about the fact that they've got 80 goals, but it takes a great defense to win championships. And Indiana with that solid back line, and then the big-time freshman goalkeeper playing well beyond his years. John Trask, Meyer, Aaron Holbein, and the Wisconsin staff. You see right there, 1995 co-champs with Indiana, the only time the Badgers have had even a share of a Big Ten tournament title.
So no doubt anxious to complete that task this afternoon.
Mueller, Segbers, Catalano, and Catalano was one of the big 4 that didn't have a goal in that 4-0 win over Michigan. He almost got one there.
You just never know who's going to pull the trigger. You got Segbers and Mueller there, and then Catalano comes in sitting at distance, looking to take Trey Muse by surprise.
He's hit some from that distance. It'd be easy to get it by that young man. Catalano. Alfaro in, pushing it forward, trying to find Barlow. Toy, who's come back to try to help out. So here comes Thomas. Thomas has Pancho in front of him. Dorsey on the right. He'll give it to Dorsey. Gutman comes into your screen. He was open for a second. Thomas trying to find somebody. Pushed off the ball, though, and Thomas will give it away.
A lot of numbers in the counterattack there, and Indiana does well with Trevor Swartz on the far side, slowing Wisconsin's idea of getting forward.
Toy is going to get maybe even a card there as he comes in hard on Masbrook. Let's see what happens here, if he just gets a warning or not. Toy, as we talked about, was pushing and shoving a little bit earlier.
He was being pushed and shoved, and now he comes back in on this tackle. That's a cardable offense, there's no doubt about it. Schilling and Koenig have been kind of eating at Toy a bit verbally anyway over the course of the second half.
Toy with the yellow card.
A yellow card has been awarded to Indiana player number 8, Mason Toy.
The goalie is yellow.
I think it's just a foul of frustration. Toy has not had a break. He's playing under some tough conditions, and he's a competitor.
Out of bounds. Indiana has 5 goals in the last 15 minutes of regulation during the season. Wisconsin has 10 goals in the last 15 minutes, including that goal that you talked about, Chris, against Indiana that pushed that game into overtime.
You get the feeling, don't you, Dean, that either one of these teams could find a way in the last 15 minutes of this match. Though I would say Indiana in the second half has probably enjoyed a bit more of the run of play.
Indeed. A lot more possession time for Indiana. I think even John Trask and his staff would agree with that. But Wisconsin, all they need is that one fleeting moment. Who could forget yesterday when it looked like Michigan was going to tie it up? Schilling makes the save. Masbrook bombs it long. Mueller plays it to himself. Couple touches. Cut here, cut there. Boom, 2-0. Dorsey, so fast with the ball. Toy, what a spin! Toy back, and Schilling as coming in support. Masbrook able to slow it down. What a turn by number 8.
Talked about how Griffin Dorsey has opened up his game with that diagonal run across the middle instead of going down the flank, and thought for sure maybe Toy was going to hold that and lay it back off for Dorsey because he makes a dynamic run to the far post. And Toy, I think, rightly opts to take the crack himself.
Lillard and Barlow climbing high, won by Lillard.
Best part about that decision for Mason Toy is he's got the defender right in front of him blocking Schilling. And so vision on the ball is limited. If he lays that ball out to Dorsey, then Schilling's got a clear look at the ball, and the defenders from the far side are settling into spots where they can be helpful.
Mueller with Muse.
Now you can like what Mason Toy is doing there, taking it by himself, and then you can ask Griffin Dorsey, as he is frustrated with a run that's not paid off with a service to the outside.
Great work by our Big Ten Network crew all weekend long. Semifinal Friday, championship Sunday, and dealing with the elements yet again this weekend in Westfield, Indiana. We salute everybody as part of our Big Ten Network crew. Producer Glenn Hallis, birthday boy Billy Proctor, director, the whole gang.
We are surrounded by tremendous professionals, and it makes coming to work just a joy.
Koenig.
Come on, Tom! Play Corey!
Now Frankie Moore.
Frankie!
Toy. Not the easiest ball, but Toy deadens it. Here's Moore coming forward. Gutman trying to find Pacho. Toy loose as it falls to Dorsey. Gets his opportunity that time, but can't get it on frame. And make no mistake, the Hoosiers searching for that game winner.
Gutman with a terrific surface inside. It's broken up at first by Wisconsin. Mason Toy not able to win as Schlenker goes up and wins that ball, but it doesn't get clear, and that's where Dorsey has a chance to pound on it and can't put it on frame. Every striking player knows that under these conditions, it does not have to be perfect. It's just got to be on frame. And you let the elements take care of the rest.
"90 minutes, not enough." Last year when these two teams met in the semifinals. It's a long way to go, as you see John Trask joking that he's using coloring on that beard. to go Gray. How about that line? He's a character. The plan is, as you continue to think about those Wisconsin-Indiana ties, Wisconsin little fake there. They'll go out of bounds. After this game, on the drive back to Madison, they're going to stop at Steve Snow's Pizza Place as you take a look at this turnover.
This is a rough situation for the Hoosiers. Wisconsin looking for the opportunity, and in build-up in very tight traffic, able to get the overlapping run and a ball knocked out of bounds. Goal kick, Indiana puts it back in play. They win it back. Nope, Indiana's going to go ahead and keep it.
It's going to go out of bounds, of course. Ken Snow, Steve Snow, played at Indiana. Steve Snow would go on to be a prolific goal scorer for that '92 U.S. Olympic team coming from the Indiana Hoosiers. Now as a pizza joint outside of Chicago, that's the plan. That's where they're going to eat tonight, the Badgers.
Terrific. If the players are smart, they will sit and listen to Coach Trask tell stories about the Snows. The ones that are passable.
There you go. Right side to Dorsey. See the umbrellas out. Started raining early here, and we knew at the 1 o'clock hour more rain was coming, and you can see it. Lillard, full confidence to use Trey Muse.
Ken Snow scored 28 goals in one season for Indiana. I think we have to go way back, and he leads the Hoosiers in goal scoring, part of the 100-goal club, 100-point club, 100-goal club, actually. Still holds the record for goals scored in a season.
Yeah, he was prolific for the Godfather, Jerry Yeagley. In these conditions, all you need is that one moment, that one opportunity. Heavy possession for Indiana, but Segbers was so close to having that opportunity. Big smiles despite bad weather. Those are hardcore fans.
Well, Segbers is back on the field after getting that break on the bench. And Alfaro came in and spent a little bit of time. So Segbers has got a little bit of freshness to him. Hungry to finish this up and finish in favor of the Badgers this afternoon.
Mitch Guitar, Catalano. Catalano kept alive, bouncing off of Frankie Moore. Mueller desperate to get the ball at his feet. Mueller, little touch, oh my, top of the 18. They'll say ball first, and I think they're right. What a well-timed tackle by Mel. Thomas, the other way, Poncho. Now Toy. Outside of the 18, down near the end line. Masbrook so calm, chested, and can't clear it too well, but secondarily cleared there by Guitar. Gutman back again. Thomas. Gutman bumped off the ball by Koenig.
This is championship soccer in the waning minutes of a level game. Great ball by Segbers. Barlow lays it in, and the contact with Mel all over that ball. Coming the other way now, Indiana and Andrew Gutman. Quick combination play and moving inside, gets the ball and tied up by Koenig.
Poncho. Both teams looking eager to try to avoid another overtime clash here. The last two have featured overtime. Toy trying to do it all by himself. Needs to drop it off. Schlenker, let's see if Poncho keeps it alive. He does. Poncho back in the 18. Little turn, can't get by Olafson. Snapped out of there by Masbrook. Top of the 18, Swartz. Cleared by Catalano and forward. Game is open here. Wisconsin the other way. Barlow with Lillard on him. Moore in support. And Moore will just rip it right away from Barlow.
Let's go, come on! Come on!
Quick throw in. Mueller threatening Lillard. Heavy legs, tough conditions. You feel for these young men trying to win a championship. Dorsey, he can gobble up real estate as good as anybody in the country, and he's done it right there. Throw in, far side.
Mason Toy with an opportunity a moment ago. On the dribble, gets around the corner, he goes to the goal line. He wants to serve this ball back. I don't think he has a chance to look for a target. Keeps it himself, gets that shot. Second ball is cleared out.
Played back. Thomas, far side. Delivered too deep. And how about those last 120 seconds here?
I think you're right, Dean. I think they're both teams playing for not another moment of overtime.
You're wondering, the last Big Ten championship game to go to overtime was Damon Rensing's Michigan State's 2-1 win over Shaka Daly in his first year in the Michigan Wolverines. That was in Northwestern, and that was who's going to win the coin toss. The wind was blowing like crazy. Michigan State won the coin toss, used the wind, scored the winner for the Big Ten tournament title along Lake Michigan.
Easy, Elon, stay! Just keep it right! Keep it right!
Thomas scored against Penn State. First goal, scored the first goal against Ohio State. Trying to get it back, taken away by Koenig. Mueller versus Lillard. Koopman. Those are three first-team All-Big Teners and another first-team All-Big Tenor. Moore will play it forward to Pancho. Pancho's got Toy to his right, Thomas to his left. Right behind Thomas and Koenig will knock it out of bounds.
Pancho doing such a nice job of penetrating on the dribble, looking for his help and finding it. But Elon Koenig defensively working well in that corner.
Thomas looks up. Knocked out of bounds again. Thomas couldn't find a red jersey open as Guitar will clear it out. Mitch Guitar's had himself a pretty good weekend. There's Guitar with the clearance.
Yeah, this has been really good defensive work. Tactically very sound from both teams in the first pressure, the first defender and second defender sitting in on cover, and typically the second defender doing some work. Saw it with Gutman and Lillard. And we're seeing it with Koenig and Mitch Guitar.
Thomas will turn. Thomas can take a shot. Schilling way off his line, right at the 6. Able to get down. Chris Dorn keeps talking about the conditions and kind of hope maybe the goalkeeper slips here. If you're Thomas, go ahead and take a shot.
Corey Thomas has got lots of space, gets to the top of the arc. Does well to take that shot. This is the Gutman-Koenig tie-up. And Koenig slow to get up after that tackle.
Boy, don't forget that Enda O'Neill, your normal left back, is out. And so Koenig goes back into right back where he started a ton of games last year, and they move over Schlenker to left back. So they're a little light as far as their left back and right back position right now. Thomas was looking for another game winner. That would have been 3 in a row. He's got 6 goals on the season.
Thomas does really well to take this ball from Frankie Moore, and then he starts looking for space, and he's got it. Look, right in the middle of the park. He's got so much space. And nobody stepping to pressure him. He takes the shot. Good for Schilling.
One bounce. Wisconsin has scored a lot of goals that way from either Schilling or their defenders. Long ball, empty bounce, and the creative flair of that man who has been a big-time point producer.
Watch all the bodies for Indiana right at the top of the 6. Defensively.
Mueller sent in, loose, turning, Catalano slips and cleared out of there by Indiana. So close for the Badgers, back in again. Cleared out by Gutman. We're under a minute remaining here in regulation. Guitar keeps it alive. Set back in, looking for Catalano. Now Moore can't totally clear it. Wisconsin hanging in there. And now Muse. Like it, Indiana not thinking about killing the clock. They're going to go for the win here in the final 30 seconds. Here comes Indiana the other way. This game is stretched out. Pancho. Right side. Indiana would have loved a corner kick there in the final 20 seconds. Moore runs over quickly. 15 seconds remaining. Moore, enough time to get it inside. Near the 6. Trying to find the head of Thomas.
10, 9, 8,
is it overtime
7,
or can Indiana
6,
slip one in? It's
5,
overtime
4,
indeed.
3,
Indiana with a ton of
2,
possession.
1.
Wisconsin almost stole it after 90-0-0.
You're hoping on mistakes and you're hoping for restarts. Wisconsin with that corner kick just a moment ago, hoping to put an exclamation point on their afternoon. The service in is bouncing in the 6. So dangerous for any defending team, especially under these circumstances. Indiana able to get the clearance. Boy, so close. My gosh. Catalano could have turned and whipped that ball in. A lot of bodies, a lot of traffic, and a lot of stress in the last 15 minutes, Dean.
Todd Yeagley, the head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers, will talk it over with his coaching staff. Indiana, Wisconsin, still no score. The Big Ten tournament title game. Here, the title game of the 2017 Big Ten men's soccer tournament in Westfield, Indiana, Grand Park. 90 minutes not enough as you see the zeros there.
Well, it was quite a battle for these two teams. Reese Buckmaster doing well, but Schilling, in fact, both goalkeepers really came up strong. Schilling doing really well at the Wisconsin end. Andrew Gutman finding some space, and Pancho testing Schilling as well. Love the way Griffin Dorsey makes this run across the field. He's hoping for that ball to be laid out to him, but Toy takes it. Schilling's up to the task. Goalkeepers have been strong.
Here's the deal in overtime. You score, you win, you celebrate, you hold the trophy high. If through 20 minutes of overtime, 2 10-minute halves, we don't have a winner, we'll go to penalty kicks. That's what these two teams did last year in the Big Ten semifinals. They went to overtime also in the regular season in Bloomington back on October 21. And that game was decided by the Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
It was supposed to be a cross, but Toy was feeling comfortable, so he goes near post, upper 90, and he beats Schilling to get the win in Bloomington for the Hoosiers.
Philip Schilling couldn't get to that one, but Philip Schilling, 7 saves so far in this game. That's the most in a championship game since Michigan State's Zach Bennett in 2013 also had 7 in a loss to the Indiana Hoosiers. As you see, that last meeting was Dorsey with the first one, then Toy. Barlow scored in the 77th minute to force overtime.
They've been dealing with the elements and now the drop in temperature. We're off probably 2 or 3 degrees since we started this match, Dean. Still have a bit of shower activity in the area. It's been sloppy, and so grit and aggression will pay you off. And putting your opponent in a situation where, you know, an error comes up, a lofted ball inside 12 yards of the goal mouth. When it drops, it's anybody's chance at either clearing it or putting it in the net.
This is not uncharted territory, as you saw a moment ago. 7th overtime game for Wisconsin, 8th for Indiana. got those 4 ties and the 3 wins. Thomas looking for another game winner. 17 shots for Indiana in this game. There's Philip Schilling with those 7 saves, 1 more. And it'll be the most in a championship game since 2013. Overtime soccer here, the 2017 Big Ten tournament title game. Thomas right off the kickoff, far side. Kept alive by Buckmaster, back to Dorsey. Good idea on the turn, but Qatar had seen that play before. Gutman. Koenig comes in there. Koenig will earn the throw in. He thinks he has. Yep, it'll stay with Wisconsin.
Dean, use of subs by both teams has been limited this afternoon. You wonder if weather has anything to do with that, where you throw a cold body on and maybe they're not in tune with the match for the moment that they get introduced. I think more than that, it's probably the fact that both of these teams are fighting to win this game. You referenced earlier whether or not John Trask could expect Indiana to come out and play or and come at them. But both teams are going at one another.
Yeah, he knew Indiana was going to come out and play. The question was whether Wisconsin was going to do it. And only for a short spell, maybe they have, as certainly Indiana's held a lot of the possession, particularly in that second half. Indiana always comes out and plays, right?
And they've convinced, or at least they have spent more time putting the goalkeeping of Phil Schilling to the test. I don't know that Trey Muse has really been tested as much.
Catalano to Barlow. It is good, Chris. You're right. Catalano down near the corner flag. Right to Muse, and Muse. Here's the thing, Muse gets it. And he slips right there. Boy, did we see that for Henry Mashburn in Michigan as well.
Segbers slowing down the counterattack. I don't know that Segbers needs to do that. He can get ahead of Corey Thomas and slow him down. Gives everyone a chance for Wisconsin to get back.
So here we go. You score. You're the Big Ten tournament title winner 2017. Swartz. Pacho. He'll switch it. Now Buckmaster. Swartz had room in front of him. He'll give it to Moore, though. There's Toy. Toy's got Pacho on one side. Toy so close. Toy is committed to getting the winner yet again. Of course, we just showed you he had the winner in the regular season in overtime.
5 game winners total for the season, 9 goals in the regular season, and he is looking. Frankie Moore is so confident on the ball, but he's got time, and Toy takes that space in front of him to set up the right foot.
10th shot of the game for the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Mason Toy. What a great shot of Buckmaster leaning over, thinking that was going to go in behind him. And there he is, Mason Toy. Coming to Indiana to try to help the Hoosiers win that 9th star, the 8-time national champions, Indiana Hoosiers. Thomas over to Gutman. Gutman cuts it back. Indiana 12 Big Ten tournament titles, looking for their 13th. Last time they won it was 2013, when guess what? They had to win it to get into the NCAA tournament.
On the dribble, this is great as Toy leaves it. And that ball to the outside, you're expecting Gutman to just crack it on the first touch, but I think it was coming in a bit bobbled, wanted to settle it. Boy, 2012, that NCAA championship, and Dean, you said it, so odd that in 2013, with a lot of players back, Indiana had to win out to guarantee a postseason date in the NCAA tournament.
And yet that's exactly what they did to advance to another NCAA tournament. Indiana, by the way, has reached the round of 16 in the NCAA tournament for the 36th time a year ago, and 5th time under head coach Todd Yeagley, the son of the Godfather. That berth that they had to have is part of a streak, right, that is now 30 straight years where they've made the NCAA tournament.
I was thinking the other day, too, that there have only been 3 head soccer coaches at Indiana University.
Here's a back heel.
And each of them has won at least one NCAA championship.
Frankie Moore driven right to Schilling.
The shot for Indiana.
Man, that's a bomb on any given day.
Francisco Moore. Save 2.
An inch to the left or an inch to the right.
Schilling.
It's quite a rocket that Frankie Moore's sending in.
How fitting would it have been for number 13 to win Indiana's 13th Big Ten tournament title. Here's Dorsey. Under 4 minutes remaining here in the first overtime. Penalty kicks a year ago. Could have penalty kicks to decide your tournament title. And now Schilling with that save on that Frankie Moore bomb has 8 saves, most in the championship game since Michigan's Chris Blaze in 2010. Had 9. Thomas thought he was going to go ahead and hit it. Moore wants it. Thomas going to create his own space. And he goes over the crossbar.
The shot for the Hoosiers by number 11.
I think Bill Schilling would rather see a little more pressure instead of giving so much time to Corey Thomas. Picking and choosing his spot, and on the quick cutback. This is Thomas a moment ago. Frankie Moore, watch how he drops this one in.
Whistle, quick restart here for Indiana. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the first overtime. Segbers will knock it out of bounds. Nice assist from the ball girl near side, getting it quickly to Gutman. Poncho, first time to Thomas. Thomas for an open player or an open angle for a shot. It'll fall to Dorsey. Dorsey off of Schlenker. Kept alive here by Indiana. Buckmaster toy and over his head. Got to remember, footing's going to be tough, so if it's not perfect, it's going to be hard to move around, and that was over Toy's head.
It's a couple of times that Toy is planted on that far side, and it's overrun him. Dorsey with that first time crack at goal does really well. Schlenker ties him up, and then Reese Buckmaster gets past Guitar. Segbers on the clearance.
Mason Toy, double digits shots for him, part of the 21 in the game for Indiana. 6'4" Wisconsin. Koenig with the throw-in. Off the head of Gutman, cleared at the top of the 18. Another player goes down. Surface very soggy. It's been pretty much 2 weeks of a lot of rain, elements, maybe even a little bit of snow. Toy.
Remaining until the end of the first
The final minute here, the first overtime. Thomas. Gutman was open. Thomas created his own space. Can't get it through. Gutman was screaming for it.
Wisconsin again. Great defensive work on Friday. They post that bagel against Michigan, and they're looking to do it again here against Indiana. Great stuff with numbers in front of the goal.
Frankie Moore, 30 seconds here in the first overtime. Gutman drops it down. Poncho claims. over the
The shot for the
crossbar.
Hoosiers by number 12, Austin Poncho.
Just unselfish as Frankie Moore looks to bring this ball to Gutman. Gutman lays it off, and Poncho goes high.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
100
1.
minutes of soccer, not enough to find a winner in the 2017 Big Ten Men's Soccer Tournament title game.
Most of the play for the Cream and Crimson in this first overtime stanza. Wisconsin again bending very well defensively. We've talked about their firepower, but their firepower in the latter part of the regulation period and in the overtime not really showing much. It's been mostly defensive effort that's kept Wisconsin in this, and it's been good defensive effort.
Frankie Moore almost had the winner. Indiana has been peppering Philip Schilling with overtime shots.
This has been good stuff from both teams, but how about Corey Thomas finding Frankie Moore, and Moore with a bomb in overtime. Schilling in the right spot at the right time. Corey Thomas in the middle of the field just picking and choosing his spots, turning away from pressure, drops it to Dorsey. Dorsey can't get anything done, but Buckmaster can. Around the corner he goes. Guitar has no answer, and Mason Toy is overshot on that service across the goal mouth. Here's Thomas again, sitting atop the D. The overlap by Gutman is overlooked, and that's the second time we've seen that. Dorsey overlapped Mason Toy, and that was earlier, and then we see the overlap from Gutman. And Gutman's favors his left foot. You wonder if he puts a nice ball out there, if maybe Thomas can enjoy an assist with a Gutman finish.
You can see some of the players in the game, even Grant Lillard putting on a jacket here, trying to stay warm. It's raining, it's 40 degrees, even lower. So the conditions not fantastic here, 40 hours after playing on Friday. Both these teams are already in the NCAA tournament. A win and not a penalty kick victory would be huge for both teams seeding. Make no mistake about it, as Indiana searching for one of the top 4 seeds, which is big time when you roll out the bracket. Wisconsin, not a given, but could climb all the way up to getting a bye. It's going to be a stretch. It's going to be tough for a team that they weren't even sure they were in coming into this tournament, but man, they're on a roll right now, so a lot on the line for both teams.
Wisconsin is so exciting to watch, and under these conditions, as you mentioned, just a day of rest between the semis and the final. It may not look all that attractive to first-time viewers, but these are two of the most exciting brands of soccer in the Big Ten right now.
Poncho to Dorsey. Dorsey, nifty little move down near the end line. He'll check it back. Good defense by Schlenker to hold him up. In supports Buckmaster. He'll square it. Swartz. Swartz is a pass-first type player. Was looking for Poncho. Dorsey driven across, headed out. Corner kick, Indiana, second overtime.
For the Hoosiers, to be taken by number 7.
So two of the components of the game that Coach Todd Yeagley has been working on the last 2 weeks are the crosses. And Griffin Dorsey has been put to work on that right flank, getting direct service and then getting it across the 6.
Swartz, looping ball, far post. Gutman's there, off of Wisconsin. It'll be a corner kick on the other side.
Corner kick for the Hoosiers, to be taken by number 8.
It's a good ball by Swartz. It's not whipped in, but it is dangerous as Gutman drifts in from the far side. And again, Toy on that far side with Lillard now at the 12.
They use Barlow to keep an eye on Lillard. All hands on deck. The breakout. Mueller. Doesn't matter how many players are on him, Mueller has the ability to keep the ball, and he keeps it there. Let's see if Wisconsin Get a shot up. Muse comes out. And he'll handle it. Could be a big possibility of Wisconsin hosting a game on Thursday against UIC, John Trask's former team.
Sean Phillips, the head coach there, longtime assistant to John Trask at UIC.
Moore trying to stay with it. Koenig doesn't bite. You think about Indiana and the run they had, including doing what they had to do to win that 2013 tournament. It'll be 31 straight years, and with UCLA not making the NCAA tournament this year for the first time in 34 years, their streak will end at 34. Indiana will have the longest active streak of making the NCAA tournament of any team in the country. That's saying something.
Well, it's saying something when you're trying to recruit a high school junior and you're in the living room of the players' parents trying to talk about championship fiber and the quality that Indiana soccer brings. Trevor Swartz in search mode. Poncho and Toy combining there.
There we go.
Mueller will lose it. Lillard in trouble chesting that down. Referee gets in the way just a moment of Leibold. Now Indiana wins it at midfield. Poncho with Catalano. Foul on Catalano. Indiana has it. 6 minutes and change remaining here in the second overtime before we go to penalty kicks to find a winner. Gutman wins it back. He was trying to find Toy. Alex Masbrook. What a story Masbrook is. Showed up here last year for the Big Ten tournament. Practiced indoors. Before the practice ended, he had torn his ACL. Didn't get to play at all. Shot not there. Men's soccer on BTN is brought to you by Bayer, Science for a Better Life, and by Meijer, your home store advantage. Approaching the 5-minute mark remaining here in the second overtime. You see the zeros on the scoreboard. Indiana's had a ton of shots. Philip Schilling's had a ton of saves. Mueller drops it to Catalano. Catalano can't get any juice on it. Barlow would have loved to receive a back post pass.
Mike Catalano. Save the #1, Trey Hughes.
Dorsey will lose it. Mueller picks the pocket, and Mueller is fouled.
Here's the shot. Watch Mueller at the top of the 18. He's tracking all the way back to play defense. He's going back to the midfield. This is your striker who's working his way back, knowing that the counterattack is on for Indiana, and he makes the tackle in the midfield and earns the free kick.
He is dialing on all cylinders. The Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, Mueller, driven in, pushed off Schlinker, no whistle. Mueller again, had it for a second, and he'll foul Toy, and we wonder if that's going to be a card on Mueller. Let's see. Toy calling for a card.
I think Toy's had it with feeling like he's being targeted, and Soren Stoika is pulling out the yellow for Mueller. Stoika's done so well with this group of players. I mean, what a change for him to come back with amateur players on the field after spending 30 weeks in Major League Soccer. And it's an absolute treat for amateur players to have a referee of this caliber Not that there's anything wrong with the other Big Ten officials, but, you know, you get a certain amount of experience that comes with Stoika. And he has handled all the situations very well.
Yellow card, so the clock stops. It'll start back up right now. Boy, penalty kicks looming, Chris Doran. Do you favor the size of the giant in goal for Indiana over the acrobatic yet much smaller Philip Schilling?
Well, I'm going to change the premise of the question because only Mueller has taken penalty kicks in a competitive situation for Wisconsin. He's 2 for 2 in conversion. On the other hand, Indiana's got a couple of players who've been very comfortable over the ball. Timmy Mell has converted. Trevor Swartz has converted. So too is Frankie Moore.
So then I'll ask the question again. Do you favor Muse over Schilling in goal? Here's Toy. Toy down near the end line, back into the 18. Toy's going to take a shot and not on frame.
I'm going to take Trey Muse.
Big, tall,
shot for the
powerful
Hoosiers.
goalkeeper.
For number 8, Mason Toy.
Schilling taking his time. There's Trey Muse, the big man in goal for Indiana. On the other side, getting ready for a goal kick is Philip Schilling. The redshirt senior versus the freshman Muse. And we're 2 minutes away from seeing a lot of them if we can't find a winner. There's Trevor Swartz missing a penalty kick against Penn State. And Schilling will pick it up. Looks like Schilling's ready for, Philip Schilling is ready for penalty kicks, taking his time right now, Chris.
He's the kind of goalkeeper that actually may look forward to it. Don't you think?
Yeah, he likes to have some fun back there for sure. And his teammates love him. I understand his professors love him as well. An outstanding student. Earned his master's at
1 minute
Wisconsin.
remaining until the end of the second overtime period. 1 minute.
Schlenker served in. There's Lillard ready to handle it. 50 seconds remaining here in the second overtime. Andrew Gutman, that great left foot lofted ball. And easy for Schlenker to give it back to Philip Schilling. These two teams, again, reminding you, went to penalty kicks in last year's semifinal, and Wisconsin won 4-3 with Christopher Mueller sealing the deal. The last time the Big Ten Tournament Championship game was in 2007 as Toy knocked out. They're going to stop the clock. Hopefully Mason Toy is okay. As Chris Doran told you, neither team going to their bench with the rainy, cold conditions. They're riding out their starters. There's Don Rawson, the outstanding leader for bringing this event here. And Toy's going to go ahead and throw off the handshake there of Koenig. And that's why.
It's just good physical play. Unfortunately, though, it's not the safe side of the field.
Chris, you remember, though, 2007, Ohio State knocking off Indiana on the Big Ten Tournament title, 5-4 in PKs. They'd go on to the College Cup final. Indiana lost PKs in 2016 to Wisconsin and 2015 to Maryland. We're headed to PKs here, folks. Got the throw in, and the clock, I believe, has gone down to 0, and it's going to be penalty kicks to find a winner in 2017.
No surprise, 4 meetings all going to overtime in the last 2 years
That's
between
the
these
end
two
of
teams.
the
I think
second
there's tremendous
overtime
respect. I love the way both squads have come out and really put their mark on the match.
Penalty
Indiana
kicks.
with the better of the flavor in the
Shootout.
overtime sessions. But now it's a completely different game. They talk about how when tournament time comes, everyone is 0-0. Well, when overtime comes and passes, and you come to penalty kicks, it's anybody. It is anybody's game.
Been a great year here on the Big Ten Network. Alongside Chris Doran, I'm Dean Linke. Bonus soccer here, penalty kicks to find our winner.
Coaches don't like to end games like this, but we have to have someone walk off with the trophy. And so both teams, while they're deserving of being honored at this point in the season, it's important that we have that winner. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out because we have 2 really great goalkeepers between the pipes.
Let's go to the overtime highlights. Indiana was peppering the Wisconsin goal.
Yeah, Trevor Swartz with this corner kick that goes way outside, but Gutman's there. And an opportunity to earn another corner kick a little bit later on. Run a play in this overtime period. Swartz inside Poncho. Good stuff for Philip Schilling. Wisconsin had a couple of chances, not many, but the break to the outside. Segbers finds Mueller. Mueller lays it back outside. And the scoop up by Trey Muse is an easy finish to that sequence.
Catalano with the shot, may have lost his footing, and now a contrasted goalkeepers, the big, tall, powerful U.S. Youth International Trey Muse, and then the German redshirt senior. That's Trey Muse in orange. He has been outstanding all year, second team all Big Ten. Philip Schilling, the redshirt senior, 5'10". I don't think he's quite 5'11". Will be standing in the pipes for the Badgers.
Be interesting to see which goal is chosen because I really think the Wisconsin goal, for the most part, had a lot more activity in front of it, and that I primarily here is in the second half and in the overtime period. My thought is that they want to take. They're probably going to stick with the south end goal, as they did in the semifinal last year.
Let's flash back to that semifinal last year, Dr. Doran.
Yeah, they were in the south goal, and it was really exciting stuff with Segbers. I'm sorry, Hyacinth missing that. Hyacinth had the goal to tie it up in regulation, and Mueller had the opportunity to finish it up for Wisconsin. That was the semifinal. They went on to the final on Sunday afternoon and dropped that game to Maryland.
Yep, Sasho Soroski's Maryland team, which had won all 3 Big Ten tournaments. And so here you go. So it looks like Trey Muse, after all that buildup and all of that setup for Trey Muse,
The goalkeeper
it's actually going to be Sean
for the
Caulfield
penalty
in goal,
shootout.
the redshirt sophomore,
For Wisconsin,
6'2". There you have it.
30, Philip Schilling.
So he's been sitting on the bench for 110
And for
minutes,
Indiana,
plus the warm-up pregame.
Number 0, Sean Caulfield.
And Sean Caulfield is going to come out and face the PKs.
Okay, so so much for whether it's going to be Muse versus Schilling. It's going to be Sean Caulfield wearing number 0. He also is pretty big, 6'2", 6'3", 185, Eastlake, Florida. Eastlake, he's a redshirt sophomore. And don't forget, in last year's match, it was Christian Lamelli who was in goal for IU in penalty kicks. And actually, the year before, it was Lamelli who came off the bench in penalty kicks as well. So this is not a new move for Todd Yeagley in Indiana to bring on a different goalkeeper for PKs.
Goalkeepers all get the same amount of testing during training, and coaches take note of who has ice in their veins for a situation like this, and Caulfield has demonstrated plenty of ability to do so, to get the job done under pressure.
It's going to be Schilling, though, between the pipes first, as first team all Big Tenner. The holding midfielder for the Indiana Hoosiers, Frankie Moore, scored a cracker of a goal on Friday, trying to get that first penalty kick with a nifty move. Schilling goes left, Moore goes the other way, number 1 finger up in the air.
That stutter step can throw a keeper off Frankie Moore, calm and cool, doesn't even get it to the side netting.
First up for the Badgers, number 19, Isaac.
And he's relieved.
Linker.
So here's Sean Caulfield, redshirt in 2015. The redshirt freshman a year ago did not see action and forced into the nets here on Championship Sunday. Caulfield went right, hammered though by Schlenker, who's been so good this year for Wisconsin.
He picks the correct side, doesn't get down soon enough.
So let's see who Todd Yeagley, after one time through, both teams finding the back of net. It'll be Trevor Swartz for the Hoosiers, the redshirt junior from Cameron Park, California. So Swartz with the left foot, ready to take it, and Schilling was there, but it hit the post anyway. I don't think Schilling necessarily got a piece of it. It hit the post and parries away the wrong way for Indiana.
You know, I wondered about this. He gets a little bit of the spot under his boot before he gets to the ball on that strike. I wondered because he missed that PK in regulation against Penn State. Could have put the game away on Monday afternoon. And Swartz missing PK number 2, although this in a shootout in overtime.
So that'll bring up Tommy Barlow. Last year with the big mop of hair, this year he cut it down, but another big year for Barlow, the senior from St. Louis. Caulfield, hands in the air, trying to get big against Barlow, and Barlow off the bottom of the crossbar and in, makes it 2-1 through 2.
Barlow didn't take PKs during the course of the regular season, wasn't called into action to do so, but finishes this one with authority to the top netting.
Just matter of fact, no big celebration for Mr. Barlow, who, as I told you earlier, is planning on playing a lot more soccer as Wisconsin will get back in the NCAA tournament. Here's Mason Toy, had himself a big game, double-digit shots in the game. Toy needs this one. Some stutter steps and Schilling! The little man, so quick. Redshirt senior, 23 years old against the youngster Toy, who I'm not sure is quite 18, and Schilling with the save.
This is coming in hot and heavy, and Phil Schilling is up to the test, picks the correct side and gets hands all over it. But one thing we say about goalkeepers as coaches, Dean, is we say, you just want them to make one big-time save, and Schilling is going to step in after making a big-time save and try to convert a PK.
How fun is this young man? With the save, now he's going to take the shot, and he also hits the bottom of the crossbar and buries it home.
A tremendous save, and then converting this. It's just all in a day's work for Phil Schilling.
He did it last year against Indiana, put one in, and he does it again here. And if he makes the save here, Wisconsin is your 2017 Big Ten tournament winners. Pancho stutter step, and he'll sneak it through to keep Indiana alive.
He made Schilling second guess there on the dive, and Pancho with a lovely ball, softly touched to the corner. Keeps Indiana's hopes alive. Does the change in goalkeeper pay off Todd Yeagley and the coaching staff?
Well, we'll see right now as this senior class, part of John Trask's self-proclaimed 2-year Ring of Terror, will feature here. Barlow makes it, Schilling makes it, Segbers can win it, and Wisconsin, your 2017 Big Ten men's soccer tournament champs.
It is going to be a joyful ride back to Madison, Wisconsin with a trophy. And dare I say, this was part of the master plan a handful of years ago, as John Trask assembled a really talented group. He lost a couple pieces to the puzzle, but he really made it look easy this afternoon when it came to PKs.
Segber's perhaps with the ice in the veins motion there as well. Segbers and Barlow from St. Louis coming to Wisconsin together. And celebration for Philip Schilling. He answered the question of who would feature prominently in goal, and then also from the spot, second year in a row, number 30 stepped up and hammered it home.
Disappointing for the Indiana Hoosiers. A great fight this afternoon, but perhaps fuel for them as they head into the NCAA tournament.
This Wisconsin's first Big Ten championship game win. If you remember, Wisconsin in '95 playing Indiana, they couldn't play it because of weather, so they were co-champs. The first time they won the Big Ten tournament championship game. Congratulations to the Wisconsin Badgers.
John Trask, the coaching staff, and you see the kind of respect. We actually referred to it over the course of the game. You see the kind of respect between this group of competitors from Madison, Wisconsin, and group of competitors from Bloomington, Indiana, and also between the coaching staffs as well. A tremendous performance from all of the student athletes this weekend.
Christopher Mueller's been brilliant all season long, the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year.
Oh, let me put this on.
Training staff for Wisconsin, this team united this year.
Oh my
Mark
God,
Segbers, Tommy Barlow, all the seniors saying they didn't come to Madison to not make the NCAA tournament, to not take home some trophies. They've got a trophy now, and they're looking for more in the NCAA tournament.
We talked about how Maryland entered 2017 with a bit of redemption on their shoulder, a little chip, if you will, and I can't help but think that Wisconsin had that same chip. You know John Trask, he's going to carry a little bit of it with him, right? And the trophy goes back to Madison.
Hold it high, Wisconsin Badgers, your 2017 Big Ten Tournament champions.